So one useful thing you can do to get better at guitar that was suggested to me after I've been playing for maybe a year or so was to try to play like simple songs that you already know, like that you've known since you were a child, on the guitar just by figuring it out without looking at a tab. So the one song I found the most helpful was just Happy Birthday. So what you do is just pick somewhere on the guitar and just try to figure it out, like how to do it. And then you can move somewhere else. So I'm kind of sliding around because I don't know like exactly like I'm trying not to think too hard. Like I'm just trying to kind of use my intuition and just find ways to do it. Just maybe stop sometimes and like redo it. Okay. And just like challenging. It's just weird. Like you start to get an intuition kind of like you kind of know where you're supposed to go, and some of it's guessing and just hearing what the note's gonna sound like. But a lot of times, like the more you do this, you kind of start to like have intuitions about it, where you're supposed to go. And what starts to happen too is you start to be like, oh yeah, I kind of remember that shape giving me this, like. See, I'm starting to get my intuition, like, it's like, you kind of feel like, no, that's not the note. I don't know how to describe it, but this is a great way to do it, so maybe pick somewhere else. And it's also fun to, like, challenge yourself. Maybe play. It's fun to try it on a single string. You can do Mary Had a Little Lamb. You could do whatever like songs you really know. Like you know what they're supposed to sound like, so you'll know if you make a mistake. So that's why it's good to just pick stuff that's really simple. Star Wars. That's it. That's weird. That's weird. It's like it starts to expand your mind in some strange way doing this activity. And like if you just spend like 10 minutes each time you pick up the guitar doing this, even with something really stupid like Mary Had a Little Lamb or Star Wars is kind of fun. Like, this is weird. I just never thought. You start to just discover stuff, like new relationships that. Like, I know this is a fifth right here. Beginning of Star Wars, but you try not to think that way. You just kind of just do it. Improves your memory, and I don't know, it's like one of the most helpful things that I took the time to start doing when I was learning guitar. Because I asked one of my teachers, like, what can I do to start building my intuition for music? Because I didn't start learning guitar until I was older. And he's like, well, just take a simple song, like Mary Had a Little Lamb, and just play it all over the place. Or Happy Birthday is a good one, because it's kind of longer. Amazing Grace. So I'm starting to get my intuition, like, I don't know how to describe it. Ah. Or a really good one to do is Star Spangled Banner, and this would be a challenge for me, like. I'll try it again. I usually like start Spangled Banner like this, so for this song, since it's hard, I would start like that. It's probably boring to watch me do this, but I'm just trying to show kind of the process. Because a lot of people, like, there's this mindset when you're learning music that you should just, like, be perfect and, like, always get the tab perfect. Like, I see a lot of people on YouTube, like, freaking out, like, about, oh, that's not right, like, that's one note wrong, and stuff like that. And, like, that's kind of can be a good mindset. Like, same thing, like playing with a metronome and trying to be really accurate. Like, I like to play classical music sometimes to get into that mindset where there's like right and wrong and everything's like the rhythm is just right or wrong if you're reading sheet music. In classical, like, you want that sort of like eighth note, like very like precise sort of thing. But a lot of music also is the opposite, where it's sort of intuitive. So I'm trying to just kind of show like how you go about doing this kind of thing, because I never really saw anybody do it. I was just told to go do it, and I just went and did it because I trusted my teacher. So I'll try Star Spangled Banner. I'll see if I can do the whole thing, and it's going to be kind of a mess, just kind of hacking around. Because this one jumps around a lot, so it's harder to have that intuition when it's jumping around quite as much. But I'm not trying to think, like, I'm not trying to be intellectual about it and think like, oh, what's the next interval? Maybe that would be a good thing to work on for me, to be able to try to predict the next interval. But I do this activity still just kind of maybe for a song that I hear in my mind, like maybe a song that I just taught at a lesson. I'll try to, like, while I'm walking around, walking up to the next lesson, I'll try to play it, like the melody, somewhere else. And see, I'm trying to get comfortable down here, so I don't want to get comfortable. orchestrated glare and not repeat that. So I'm trying not to let myself know where all the notes are. The other thing you start to develop, like you probably notice, I'm like you hear the wrong note and you get to the right note real fast, and that can be helpful actually. And what I mean about not staying in the same spot is, let's say I started playing Star Spangled Banner in the same spot. Like, I don't have this memorized. But so I don't have that memorized. Like, I don't know exactly how I just knew that, but like I know this position better. And I've played Star Spangled Banner like that before, so on some level you remember stuff. But what's more exciting, like I was trying to force myself to go like. Then I start to get disoriented. What's weird too is when you're in a key that you're not used to, like hitting certain frets next to each other. So anyways, this is super helpful, but I would recommend doing it with Happy Birthday. I've had the best results with, because it's like kind of complicated melody. It's like, it's not too crazy. And everyone knows it, so you'll know exactly, like, oops, that's not right. No. Oh yeah. So you'll know exactly when you make a mistake, and that's kind of the point. Like you don't want to do this with a melody that you're not going to know if you're doing it right. So anyways, this is a super helpful exercise that really, I don't really do it too much anymore, except like I was saying, when I learn something at a lesson, I'll try to maybe play it in different spots while it's fresh in my mind. But I don't really do it like Happy Birthday and stuff anymore, but like I was just doing it now, and it totally was giving me like kind of this feeling of intuition. And the more you do it, you just start to build that up. And then sometimes then you can like consciously think about what you're doing, but the point is not to get out of that mindset where you're visualizing tabs while you're playing, or you're overthinking stuff too much, like, oh, what interval is that? Oh, what part of it, which scale was that? It's just kind of just getting used to just playing and not thinking. So anyways, hope that was helpful to people who are kind of wondering how to build up some intuition. Alright, bye.